Good morning. How are you? It's Saturday morning. How's everybody doing? It's time for another, I don't know, hour, maybe more of Cruise Chat. How y'all doing? Saturday morning. Cheers, everybody from Orlando. It's good to see everybody. I'm Walter, back with Rebecca, my wife Rebecca, who of course is sitting off camera. Hey, good morning, Tammy. How are you? Wow, that was quick. Good to see you. Good morning. I've got my lovely princess ship that doesn't look like anything in the princess fleet sitting here with me. I hope y'all are doing well. It's already, I don't know, it's like 78 degrees outside already here in Orlando. I hope you're having a good day. I know we're expecting thunderstorms tomorrow, and then we're going to get some colder weather. So we're going to take advantage of that. We're actually going to go to the Epcot Flower and Garden Show this week. Go check out all the topiaries. And if you haven't seen yet, we went on the Tron ride last week. That was a lot of fun. So yes, we talk about cruising all the time on here, and this is Cruise Chat, but we are full-service travel agents, so we like to go out and explore other things as well. And before I forget, 288 days till Christmas. So the time is now if you're planning a holiday trip. Trust me, it really is. It's amazing like how many cruises are already filling up for Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, still open. You know, y'all, I tell you guys, you got to go on Thanksgiving, and why not come with us on our Thanksgiving cruise? We're going to be on the Valiant Lady for 8 nights, just eating ourselves silly because the food is so good on Virgin, and of course it's all included. But how y'all doing? You guys doing well? Anybody going on a cruise this week? What ships are you going on? Anybody going on a cruise like in the next couple of weeks? I want to hear about it. Like, where are y'all going? What ships are you going on? You know, we just got off the Sky Princess a couple of weeks ago. I've got so much content to edit, I have not caught up with it. I still need to finish my Symphony of the Seas food tour. I haven't even shown you guys the chef's dinner yet, which was amazing on the Symphony of the Seas. So I need to get caught up on that. And then I need to tell you guys the entire story about Sabatini's and all of that. Somebody, hey, Rosie, you're going NCL, Alaska, July. Awesome cruise, amazing cruise. Somebody at Plants and So On, you're getting married on the Icon next year? Oh my goodness gracious. Are you going to be racing down the slides and saying I do? Would maybe the preacher like ahead of you guys trying to slide down doing the vows? That would be killer. They got that family raft one. You can get married on that raft slide thingy. That's awesome. Congratulations, getting married on the cruise. That's so awesome. Wow. And, you know, brand new ship. Why not? Have some fun with that. That's awesome. Rebecca, what do you think? You know, we could renew our vows on the big rafty thing and have the Justice of the Peace sitting there with us on the big rafty thing. Huh? Her microphone's working. She's just not saying anything. You were on Symphony over Thanksgiving. Yeah, very nice. Well, yeah, you know, anytime it is a little crowded, especially if you're talking about the pools. You know, we were on Symphony the week before Christmas, so it was a full ship, but we found the ship really not that crowded, except obviously the pool areas were completely jammed on all sea days. You can't get around that. But yeah, you're going to have a lot of kids. For Thanksgiving, you know, if you don't want any kids, come join us on the Valiant Lady, November 18th. No kids, 18 plus. So come join us. It'll be a lot of fun. And if you want to get away from kids for the holidays, you know, you look at Princess, you look at Celebrity, obviously Virgin Voyages, Princess, Holland America. So they're still going to have some kids on, but certainly not the amount of kids that the family-friendly lines will be. Who is going on? Yes, I'm Maria. November and Symphony of the Seas. Nice. We love that ship. We love that ship. Hello, Phoenix. How are you, Mark? You booked a 2-week Denali land and sea cruise in Alaska. That's the way you do it, Mark. That is absolutely the way we do it. Plants and So On. I know we are planning our 30th wedding anniversary. We want to renew our wedding vows on whatever ship Captain Kate is on, because we really want Captain Kate to do our ceremony. So David is going on a Mediterranean cruise this May on the Reflection. Beautiful ship. We love that ship. My best piece of advice is to find the world-class bar on your first day and then go there every day. They make such good cocktails there. I really love it. Mariner of the Seas in June. Love that ship. Such a fun ship. I think it's a great size of a ship. It's a really fun ship. If you've never gone on Royal Caribbean, that Voyager class is a really nice class of ship to go on. But yay. Bruce Almighty, how are you, Bruce? Good morning. Does a U.S. citizen need a passport to go on a cruise to the Caribbean? Now, so long as it's a closed loop, you should only need to have a government-issued photo ID, and you will need an original birth certificate, unless you're going to Martinique. If you're going to Martinique, you have to have a passport to get off the ship. And
you can still take the cruise, but you can't get off.
And there was something like in the Panama Canal area too, there were some countries where you had to have a passport just to take the cruise. So other than Martinique, and then if you're on a Panama Canal cruise, check carefully the FAQs on that. You might need a passport to take that cruise, but otherwise...
And Virgin Voyages, you do.
Oh yeah, Virgin Voyages. You must have a passport for every cruise on Virgin Voyages. User 323, you're on the sunshine for Thanksgiving. Fabulous. Misfit Flagler, May 14th Carnival Celebration. You should really like that. I've heard so many great things about it, and we were on the Mardi Gras. Fabulous, fabulous ship. Cassidy, you're going on your first cruise. Yes, that's what we'd love to hear. Congratulations. Yay. Let's see. Only one ship so far in Port. Well,
background.
Can you see it? There's a celebrity.
See a little bit of it, yeah.
Celebrity back there hanging out. What about the Oasis class? What about it? It's awesome. It's big. It's really big. So the Oasis class is going to hold upwards of, 5,500, 6,000 people. They do a really good job of spreading people out. Now, if you want to go to the pools, and it's a sea day, just like any other ship, pools are going to be really, really crowded. But you will find places to hang out on the ship and all that. We love the Central Park area during the day. But good food, good ship. We had a ball, Rebecca.
Apparently, there was an owl who enjoyed Central Park as well.
Yes, that was just reported. The Symphony of the Seas had a stowaway. It was an owl hanging out for at least a week. But the Florida
Fish and
Wildlife were able to come on with the assistance of the Royal Caribbean crew and get her off. Mark, you'd like to book a cruise on Explorer of the Seas again. It was your first Royal ship. Great class of ship. What do I know about the new Premier Pass that just popped up under packages on Royal? I haven't even seen it yet. I will have to go take a look at that. I'm going to bring it up on the screen while we are talking here, so just bear with me. And by the way, if you're asking questions, you don't need to ask questions twice. I like to take my time to scroll through, so I will get to everybody's question. Just give me a few minutes to catch up to you. So it's a new version of like the Key. Gotcha. But a much higher end. Okay, we'll have to take a look. We actually honestly haven't seen it. Get you VIP access, internet access, and service amenities. So it kind of sounds like an improved version of the Key, like a higher end version of what the Key was. I will have to take a look and get back to you, Mark. We have not actually really looked at it yet.
It certainly wasn't available when we were
Yeah, no, it wasn't available. Inside access. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. You get the inside access tour is included, which is over $100, obviously. And the one thing I will say, I see that laundry service is included. So, maybe that Premier Pass would be good for longer cruises when you're going to use laundry. Carolyn, you're going on Royal Caribbean Radiance of the Sea. Fabulous. Good morning, Heather Costa. How are you? You just booked Icon of the Seas, your second cruise, Dora. Fabulous. Hey, if anybody wants to book that family townhouse in the back of the Icon of the Sea, please let me book it for you, because then I want to book myself on the cruise so I can come hang out with you guys and see what that is all about. That is like the most amazing cabin ever. I love that cabin. Let's see. Carolyn, is Carnival as bad as everyone says? No, it is not. I mean, let's put it to you this way. If you go to Cruise Critic right now, you go to any cruise line forum, that cruise line is terrible. I can tell you. That cruise line, Princess is terrible, Carnival is terrible, Holland America is terrible, Celebrity is terrible. There are going to be people who tell you that it is terrible on every single cruise line. No, Carnival is not as bad as everybody says. You just got to go on the right ship. We had a blast on the Mardi Gras. Love is going on the NCL 20-day cruise in the Panama Canal. Is it safe to travel alone? When you are alone, and I would encourage you to go to the Sean and Steph channel on YouTube, SEAN and STEF, Sean and Steph. So Stephanie is now a solo traveler, and she's been focusing on solo traveling. So you just got to be aware, especially if you're thinking about getting off the ship and just going and exploring the port on your own. got to be more aware. You got to do research on that port. You need to make sure, like, where is it safe to go, where is it not safe to go. Such as in Nassau, Stephanie went to the Margaritaville water park thing, and she had a great time. But coming back, it was getting dark, and she said if Ben and David weren't with her, she would have felt uncomfortable walking back to the cruise ship on her own as a female. So I would say, yes, it is safe. There is a solo travelers forum on Cruise Critic, is there not? So cruisecritic.com, there is a solo travelers forum that you can certainly ask questions and do some research in there as well. Journey Cruise on Carnival Legend, November. Awesome, I love it. June 4th to the 11th, Holland America, Alaska Cruise. Way to go, Monkey. That is going to be awesome. Opinions on a Carnival Spirit. We have not been on that class of ship. However, this Cruise Life, who have become very dear friends of ours, I don't know, 50 plus cruises now on Carnival, and they have said those ships are fantastic to cruise on. That is one of my goals in 2023, 2024. I want to start exploring some of these other Carnival ships that we have not been on yet, so I can talk to you firsthand. But if anybody else has cruised on a Carnival Spirit, please do jump in. Do I know anything about Wonder of the Seas? Funny you should ask, because I am going to be touring that ship in a couple of weeks. But we went on the Symphony of the Seas. Fabulous ship. The ships the Oasis class does a wonderful job of spreading people out. So even on sea days, the ship did not feel crowded, other than obviously the pool areas. The pool areas are going to be crowded on every single ship on a sea day. So that wasn't any different. But, you know, we had plenty of room to move around the ship, and you have the Effectors 2 on there, which is supposed to be a fabulous show. Rosie Girl, are we a travel agent? 100% we're travel agent. There are contact links in the bio, and in fact, there's information right here on how to get in touch with us. So yeah, if you'd like to set up an appointment, what I do is I set up a 15-minute call with you, 15, 20-minute call, find out what your needs are, and then we go ahead and put together a travel package for you. So yes, please do reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com, or contact here, or click on my little logo, and there are contact links in the bio. Did I hear about Royal? Yep. Somebody else asked about Royal's Premier Pass. It basically looks like a higher-end version of the Key, and just looking at it real quickly at what it offers, I would think this might be a good buy on longer cruises. I don't know about a one-week cruise, whether it's going to be a good value or not. You know, that priority embarkation, the inside access tour. You know, when I see some of the things that are on here, I might take advantage of it for a longer cruise.
Well, and it also depends on what the price is, too.
Yeah, it also depends on what the price is, too. So, Stacy, why don't cruises go cheap last minute? Seems like they double. Don't they want to sell out? Well, what they are doing now, it's supply and demand. So the price goes up as the supply runs out, and they're holding a lot of those cabins for bidding process. So no, not anymore. It's harder and harder. With some of these cheap websites, you know, you see somebody like really super cheap cruises, they may have bought up a block of cabins at one point, or they're just throwing away their commission, which is how they get any cheaper. Let's see, Texas Sunshine, good morning. Do all ships have casinos, and which one is the best for spending time in a casino? Well, I don't know which one is the best, because I used to work for the world's largest casino, and I know what the odds are, so I don't play on cruise ship casinos. I might play a little bit in Vegas, but not on a cruise ship myself. Do all of them have it?
Disney does not.
Disney does not yet. Disney might on that new ship that they bought from Genting. It already had a big casino plan for it, and because that ship's going to be in the Asian market, they probably will. But all cruise ships do have a casino. Now on Celebrity and Virgin Voyages, they are non-smoking, and some of the other cruise lines have a non-smoking area. But I can't tell you which is the best. I can tell you that Carnival runs a ton of casino specials, and I have one client who got a $100 15-day cruise on Princess through the casino. Thank you, Treasure, everybody. I appreciate that. Uncle Bunks, how are you? Have we done any of the Hawaiian Island cruises? Not yet, but we did book. I just talked about Sean and Steph a little while ago. Stephanie Mullen, we booked her on a ridiculous cruise. Listen to this. 16 days on the Norwegian Spirit, which, by the way, was just completely refurbished 2022, 2023. She is doing a repositioning cruise, a Pan-Asia repositioning cruise, and she's going to do the second leg from Honolulu, full Hawaii cruise. Then they go to Alaska and do a full Alaska itinerary. 16 days, one ship. She does a Hawaiian cruise and an Alaskan cruise. This is in April. If you're interested in this cruise, contact me. There are still plenty of cabins available. I want to go on it. We just don't have the time to do it. But what an amazing cruise. So no, we have not done it. Rebecca's mom, why don't you tell them real quick about Pride of America?
She had a great time on it.
She had a fabulous time on the Pride of America. So if you want to go to Hawaii, Norwegian Pride of America is the only one that does just the islands. If you're going to do anybody else, you're going to go from California. You're going to go out there and come back. You're going to go to Ensenada probably, and then come back to California. So, Mark does it. You booked, but we only paid $89 total length of the cruise when we booked for both people. Very nice. Treasure, you're headed to Mexico next week. Your first cruise booked with... Oh, well, thank you. I am amazing. Thank you. Oh, my goodness gracious. Thank you so much. You know, it's funny because I don't know everybody's handle. So I think I know who that is. Sal Chick, can you bring bottled water on the ship? You need to check the FAQ of each individual cruise line. There are rules. For example, I think Carnival says 10 cans. You can't bring glass bottles, and I don't even know that they were allowing plastic bottles. I think they were only allowing cans. So you just got to check the FAQ.
And pretty much any cruise line that will allow you to bring it, you will have to carry it on. You cannot check it.
You can't check it. You can't pack it in your luggage. You got to carry it on now.
But just so you know, the water on a cruise ship is more
really
treated
good.
and probably cleaner than a lot of bottled water.
Yeah.
So if you want to just
bring this with you and just fill it up from the water in the sink. It's actually good water.
Yeah.
So, and it's free. Brian, heading on the Oasis the 19th to the 20th. Oh, on the 19th for your 22nd cruise, but you haven't been in over 10 years. Congratulations. That is awesome. Shane, any advice for first timers going on a ship? I mean, there's just so much we can do, but the best piece of advice I can give you, whether you go through me or somebody else, is to get a travel agent involved, because the most important thing is to match you up with the right ship. The cruise line doesn't matter as much as matching you up with the right ship for what you are expecting. Even the itinerary, if it matters to you, then it matters. But more often than not, I'm looking for the right ship, because you're going to spend 50 to 75% of your cruise possibly on the ship itself. So my best advice to you for your first cruise, get a travel agent involved. We are travel agents, so we'd love to help you. So whether it's us or somebody else, find a good travel agent to help you get set up.
And I would say the other thing is to be aware of what is included in your fare and what isn't, because some people get very disappointed when they realize something they thought was included isn't.
Correct. And a travel agent can help with that. And cruise lines are kind of sneaky. It kind of sounds like something's included, but it's really not. So yeah.
And then the other big piece of advice, just kind of go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Just know that all port stops are not guaranteed. So I see I have 58 questions. So guys, please be patient. I will get to all of your questions. So Disney Wish, May 5th. Congratulations. That's going to be awesome. We've got a couple of clients going on there. About to board Celebrity in 1 hour. Plan to try and board early. No, you're not crazy. We want to be first on the ship because you paid that money, and I want every minute I can on the ship. So yes, be early. Cut in front of people. I don't care. Oh, I didn't say that.
It depends on the port and the port worker you get, but some are being more strict about your actual arrival time.
Yeah, they are.
And some aren't.
They are.
It just kind of is a roll of the dice on that.
It's Carnival Sunshine, an older ship. It is relative, but I know that it was fully renovated somewhat recently. I want to say within the last 3 years. What are my thoughts for cruising to Canada? What ships are best? I can't tell you what ships are best because it's whatever you are looking for. But that is an amazing cruise. It's a very limited time, so the price is a little bit higher because it's a very narrow window to go to Canada.
And for me, if I was doing it, I would want one of the cruises that cruises between, say, New York, Boston to Montreal, Quebec.
Quebec, yeah,
Just,
one way.
One way, because that gets you able to see the most things.
Correct. So yeah, if you do a round trip in Canada, you're not going to see as much. Just like Alaska, if you do a round trip Seattle and Alaska, you don't see as much as if you go to Vancouver up to Anchorage as you do. So is it more rocky up high or down low? The ship is much smoother. My little model here. You want it low and middle is the smoothest ride. higher and front or back will have the most motion. So am I paid by Carnival? I am paid by all the cruise lines. Actually, I make, we earn commission from all of the cruise lines through our sales. So you pay absolutely zero for our services. You love Carnival, you don't drink. Yeah, you don't have to drink to be on a ship. You just came off Royal Caribbean. If you want a second lobster tail, yes, it is $17. I don't know why that's such a surprise to everybody, but yeah, 2 lobster tails is going to cost you money. I think you might have said this, but how can I cruise as a single economically? That's a great question. And in fact, I just pulled together a list. So the best way for you to sail solo, oh my goodness, we've got 77 messages now queued up. So just bear with us. I will get to your questions as quickly as I can. You want to get a solo cabin. That is the most economical way to go. There is very little solo supplements happening, free solo supplements happening these days. MSC is still running 80% off, but Virgin Voyages, Norwegian Cruise Line, and Celebrity Edge Series, those are the big 3 that have solo. But I've just learned there are a bunch of Royal Caribbean ships that have solos. There are Holland America ships that have solos. I don't think Princess does, but there are a lot of solo cabins. The thing is, there's not a lot of them on each ship. So if you want to travel solo and you want to travel economically, you need to book early to get one of those solo cabins. Feel free to reach out. I have a whole list now of all the solo cabins so I can find them. Have we ever done the NCL Epic? We have not done that ship, but we've done the Getaway and the Escape. Loved them.
And I will say, I remember one time talking to Steph about our not really liking the Spice H2O area on either of those ships. And she said, oh, you might like the one on the Epic because they have a actual pool there instead of just a water feature.
There you go.
So, I mean, some people don't like the bathroom design, but if you're traveling as a couple, I don't think it's a big deal.
Right. So, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the $17 for a second lobster. I play on ship. Good, you have good luck. You're looking for a 7-day Royal Caribbean cruise in June. You are going to find tons of them. Does the commission drop when you're? Yes, actually it does. When we get a price adjustment for our clients, the commission is all based on the price. So yeah, it does drop when you do that. You've been on several Carnival.
But ultimately, we want the customer to be happy.
Oh, so. Exactly. Oh, we're totally going to do that. Yeah. If there is a price drop on a cruise, we are getting that price reduction for you because the amount of the commission. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but what absolutely matters is you having a good vacation. So we're not worried about that. You've been on several Carnivals, but going on your first Royal Caribbean, the biggest difference. I think the food is better in the main dining room and the buffet. Not like hugely better, but certainly a little bit better. And of course, you're going to have probably a few more activities. And you've got ice skating. I think the shows are better on Royal Caribbean as well. But and depending on which ship you're going on, you can do. Depending on which ship you're going on, there'll be more or less differences. Are there any cruises unvaccinated go on? Yeah, the unvaccinated have been cruising for well over 6 months now. I just came off Royal Caribbean, You don't need to post about the $17 lobster over and over. That's okay. What are my tricks for not getting sick on board? Lots and lots of hand sanitizing. Lots of hand sanitizing, really. That's what we do.
Yes, wash your hands, wash your hands.
And by the way, if you see people, and I've seen these people, Rebecca's seen them, like they grab for something in the buffet, or they grab some food and then they put it back. Tell the workers right away. They'll pull that tray out. I mean, that's one way to help keep everybody from getting sick.
Yeah, or if they've touched the serving utensils on their hand, just let somebody in the buffet know.
Exactly.
It's a worker, and they will replace the utensil. They will replace the whole tray.
Hit hard. It's in rainy weather in San Francisco. So sorry. I sound like Ellen. Okay. That's a compliment. Okay. You just booked a Royal Caribbean cruise, Oasis of the Sea balcony for $749 each. That's really good. That is really, really good. The Oasis of the Seas, you're going to have fun. Go ice skating, do the flow rider. The shows are really good.
Although Oasis has cats.
Well, yeah, Oasis has cats, so you may not want to go to that. But
I'm sure the other shows are good.
And I think you're going to enjoy Central Park. Park Cafe is actually a great spot for lunch. I will say that. If you're looking for a cruise, I'm not going to give you information on a specific cruise during the show. You're welcome to reach out to me. You can click the logo and set up an appointment, or you can reach out to me via these links. But I'm not going to just...
And just be aware that at this point, supplies going to be somewhat limited.
Well, it depends on where they're going to.
True,
and
true.
out of where. Let's see. Yeah, so you carry bottles onto Princess. It is just... it is going to... let me get this out of there. It's going to be different on every ship. Any experience on the NCL breakaway cruising to Greece, Italy? No experience going to Greece, Italy. We do have experience on the Getaway and the Escape. Great ship, and I love the waterfront. That's my best piece of advice. Hang out on that waterfront. It is absolutely beautiful down there. Going on Carnival Paradise in November with a group of friends and kids. Any tips? I mean, it's hard to give tips when I don't know what you guys are into and what you're doing and where you're going. I mean, like we always say, go with the flow. Just know that every port is not guaranteed. Know that you're going to be disappointed in something on that ship. I mean, when we went on the Carnival Mardi Gras, it was hit or miss with the food. Did that mess up our cruise? No, we still had a great time. So go with the flow. Don't expect everything to be perfect, and understand that you just might be disappointed in something, but just go with the flow. So, can you gamble at 18 on Royal Caribbean? I honestly don't know.
I don't know either.
If anybody else knows, I really don't know. I'd have to look that up. Cruising from NYC in December, good idea. Why not? You know, you got to watch out for snowstorms. You know, if you have a big snowstorm, I do have a friend who was on the Norwegian Escape one year when they had a big snowstorm, and it took like 10 hours, 12 hours to actually get the ship loaded, so the ship was very late. But yeah, why not? How's the Emerald Princess? You're going for a week in June with your mom. We have been on the Crown, the Sapphire. They were great ships. They were great experiences when we went on them. Now, this was pre-pandemic. We went on the Crown as well. And post-pandemic, we did the Sky Princess. That was absolutely fabulous. We just did it 2 weeks ago. That was fantastic. So Princess, generally the food is a little bit better, especially the main dining room and the buffet. So how can you find out about all the amenities the Oasis of the Seas offer? Well, that's easy. Just go to Royal Caribbean's website, and you know they have a whole overview of the ship itself. And they're going to have things to do, all the food involved, so that you can find out there. They are a little cagey on the amenities on some of the cabins. You kind of have to go in like to buy the cabin before you actually see the details. So if you want to see the details of what comes with the cabin, you need to start the process to book the cabin, and then you'll see it.
And I think you may have missed this one. Someone asked if
there
was a ship with water slides and high-end food, and honestly, I can't think of one.
Yeah, I would say the Oasis class, just in the sense that Hooked was really good.
True. I mean, the specialty food.
Yeah,
yes.
the specialty food. If you're looking for like high-end food throughout the ship, I can't think of one, but Royal Caribbean, even on the Mardi Gras, we went to Rudy's Sea Grill. That was one of the best meals I've ever had at sea. And then there's Disney. Disney does have really good food throughout the ship. Now, they only have the one thing. They got the aqua mouse or the aqua duck. But if you're looking for something like a Carnival NCL, actually NCL has fabulous specialty dining and all the ships we've been on. So yeah. Any cruises that don't work? All the cruise lines have long schedules. Now, if you're the cruise line with the highest salaries, Patrick's asking if there's any cruises that don't work their workers to death, and you feel guilty sometimes. Virgin Voyages has among the highest paid crew at sea. So I can tell you that they don't even accept tips. So, hi Melissa, what about the NCL Gem? Good ship. I think she's a lovely ship. We haven't actually sailed her yet, but we booked a couple of folks on it. They have a great time. Smaller ship, doesn't have all the bells and whistles up on the top, but a lovely ship. One of the things that I always look at when I'm going to book a client is when was the ship last refurbished. I don't care about how old it is. I just want to know when it was last refurbished. So if it was refurbished within the last 5 years, then at least they're really keeping it up. Good morning, Stacy. How are you? NCL Gem to Italy, Croatia, Greece. Fantastic. You're working too today and enjoying the show. Thank you. Princess Cruise, we are on. Yep, sorry, I don't know. If anybody knows it, whether you got to be 18 to gamble on a Princess ship, please let me know.
Or any ship, for that matter.
Daryl Harris, you're going on the Scarlet Lady in December. You're excited. We're going back on her in April. We cannot.
28 days.
Yeah, 28 days. Going on the NCL Joy in May to Bermuda. Any tips? We haven't been to Bermuda, to be honest with you. That is just because out of Florida, it's rare that you actually go to Bermuda. But I would say, again, that's another, I think, a breakaway class or a breakaway plus, and that waterfront. It's absolutely lovely if that's on that ship. Absolutely.
And I think you missed, someone asked on Carnival.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Someone asked on Carnival if you could if you have to carry on your allotted wine that you're allowed to bring, or if you can pack it and you're checked, carry it on.
Yeah, any liquid has to be carried on, whether it's soda, water, wine.
Not shampoo and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, anything that you're going to consume has to be carried on. That's pretty much every ship these days. So, is there a chance of a deal on the ship for spa treatment versus ahead of time? The only time that that's a great question, by the way. The spas are often discounted when you are in port, because they know everybody's going to get off the ship. So if you're looking for a deal on the spa, I mean, I've seen 40% off. I don't know what 40% off really means compared to the prices, but very often, you see 20, 40% off the spa when you're in port. So that's the time.
And sometimes they'll have package deals where they put together like 3 different treatments, and it works out slightly less than if you bought them all separately.
Correct. Diane is going on a celebration in August. How is that ship? Based on the Mardi Gras, she's fabulous, and based on the feedback we've gotten, Ben and David did a transatlantic on that ship, and they did a full tour and all the food. Shack Chicken is addictive. If they have Rudy Sea Grill, and I think they do, it's an amazing restaurant on there. Of course, you got Emeralds. Fun. The only thing I didn't like was the, I don't know what they call it on the celebration, but it was called Grand Central on Mardi Gras. It's really cool the way to do the shows there, but the seating wasn't the best. What is the cruise that goes around Hawaii, then Alaska? That is the NCL Spirit, leaving some point in April. I want to say middle of April. Feel free to reach out.
Like the 20 something.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to book you on it. I mean, I didn't even know about it, to be honest with you. Stephanie's the one who came to me and said, hey, look at this. So yeah, it was really awesome. You did the Mardi Gras. The ship was amazing. Yep, food was hit or miss. You love the mug. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I'm rocking the Stitch today because we were at Disney a few days ago. We're going back to Epcot this coming week. So, if you can only cruise in September or October to the Caribbean, which is the safest bet? Either or. If you're talking about the hurricane situation, our anniversary is in September, so we always cruise in September. We have cruised during a Category 5 hurricane, and it was actually the best weather we've ever had. So don't worry about hurricane season because the ships will move and get out of the way. So, what are my thoughts on a medallion on Princess? I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The only problem we had was getting drinks delivered to us. You're supposed to be able to order food, drinks, and have it delivered.
It worked about half the time.
It worked like the first time, and then the next 3 times it didn't work, so we kind of gave up on that. But our friend Stacy, who was with us, she's watching right now. She's like walking around Princess Live, and they're finding her and handing her drinks. So, but I absolutely loved it. You walk up, you just tap, and it was fabulous. Love it. What about alcohol? I'm not sure what exactly if you mean about bringing alcohol on the ship. It's generally 1 bottle of wine per person, but you got to check the FAQs.
And spirits and beer are generally not allowed,
except in Europe. P&O allows you to bring 1 spirit on. Yes, Disney does have high-end food. Thank you very much. What are my thoughts on the Icon of the Seas? It looks like it's going to be outrageous. I don't really know until we see it, but it looks like it's going to be amazing. I mean, why do you have to go to Coco Cay? Essentially, Coco Cay is on the top deck, right? It looks like it's truly going to be amazing. I am excited to go see it, but I'm kind of reserving judgment until we actually get on the ship. Best option for family of 5 adults and 10 kids. I definitely would have to talk to you about that because, how old are the kids? What are the kids into and all of that? But certainly, Disney, NCL, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, those are the big 4. MSC might also be in play. But those are going to be like the big 5 that you're going to look at. Then I would have to talk to you. This is not something I can do in a live stream right now. But if you want to reach out to me or any travel agent, you can click the icon and set up an appointment to talk to me. I'd be more than happy. But those are going to be the big 5 cruise lines you're going to start out with. Does Royal Caribbean give 55 and over discounts? Hardly anybody does anymore.
It's always an option you can check. And there's probably maybe like 1 or 2 cruises a year that might qualify.
Yeah, because there are so many seniors cruising. Now, what does get you a better discount is if you're a resident of the state where the port is. that does come into play much more, and not every cruise still, but that comes into play much more than being 55.
And military discounts or bonuses are
Yes.
very common.
Somebody's asking if we plan excursions not with the ship before the cruise or when you get to the dock. We never do any of that. We never do anything at the dock. We never pick up something because we do research ahead of time before we show up. We want to know who we're touring with. So it's either booked through the cruise ship or it's booked independently. Now, through my website, and I'll slide this back over so you can see it again, we have a partnership with Shore Excursions Group. They have a return to ship guarantee, and they're up to 40% less than the cruise line. So go to my website. You can click on the Shore Excursions. You just simply put in your ship when you're going, and you can find all the independent excursions. Which ship has the best ship models? So far, it's Celebrity. Celebrity has the best one. Do we recommend pay the gratuity before the cruise? I do, just so it's out of the way.
But that's really up to you financially.
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, some people want to wait. I kind of like to get it out of the way before the cruise, but if you want to just wait, you can just wait.
But ultimately, it is, I think, best to leave the auto gratuities in place, whether you're paying it on the ship or beforehand.
Yeah. Jessica, thank you so much. The NCL Gem was your first cruise. Great ship. Thank you for contributing. Have we traveled on MSC? Not yet. Not yet. May or June. That is my plan to run down to Port Canaveral and finally get on an MSC ship. That will be cruise line number 9 for us. So we have not personally been on MSC. We've been booking MSC, but we have not been on there yet. Becky is going to Greenland on Carnival in August. Greenland! You're going back to Greenland! That's going to be awesome.
And
that is going to be totally awesome.
Somebody says that you can gamble at 18 on Princess.
Oh, thank you so much for contributing. Hey, True Project Racing. I'm sorry I don't have your name in front of me again right now. It's sailing time. You just boarded the Anthem of the Seas. Quantum Class. We have not been on Quantum Class yet. Do the bumper cars, please, and then shoot video and post it in the Facebook group. I want to do the bumper cars so bad, and the iFly. That's awesome. Have a great time. Can you bring your own blow dryer on Royal? You would have to check the. Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pretty
good.
much, it's generally you cannot bring electrical products that create heat except for hair things. I can't think of a cruise. I mean, you definitely double check the FAQs on what's allowed and what isn't, but I can't think of a cruise line that doesn't let you bring a hair dryer or curlers or.
There you go, and they have one always.
Yeah, but I do know, I don't have thick hair, but if you do have very thick hair, I do know that the ones they provide are not the most powerful.
Sure. Little Miss Sunshine, Royal Independent, any good? The Freedom class is a great class of ship. I can tell you that. We have not been on the Independent. Christy is probably on here. She went on the Independent out of Galveston and had a fabulous time.
I thought she was on the Liberty.
Oh, she was on the Liberty, right. I keep getting them confused.
Which is a sister ship.
So they're all, but I can tell you that the Freedom class, great class of ship. They are so much fun. Hit it hard to bring magnetic hooks for the walls. Absolutely, always bring magnetic hooks. And in fact, if you click on my logo, there is a link to Sail Pack. Sail Pack has magnetic hooks. They have bags. They have luggage tags. They have all kinds of really cool stuff.
And this last cruise, I found some magnetic night lights.
Oh yeah, the magnetic night lights. I'm going to do a TikTok on those. Those were cool. Alaska advice. If you go to Juneau, book a whale watching tour with Harv and Marv. If you go to Skagway, book a dog sled helicopter flight with Temsco helicopters. The dog sleds that are in the Skagway area, that's all going to be on wheels on a dirt road, so it's not going to be the same. And then in Ketchikan, look up the female pilot that flies the bush planes. She's supposed to be the best pilot up there. That is my advice for Alaska. Have fun. Do I have a favorite tip about the NCL Joy? I don't have, not specific about that ship other than the waterfront. We were on the Getaway and the Escape. Amazing.
I will say my other tip on Alaska, layers.
Yeah, that's the other big tip about Alaska, layers, because it could literally be 40 degrees in the morning and 75 in the afternoon. So if you're getting off the ship, you need to be able to take layers off as you're walking around. Do I know anyone who has done the helicopter excursion to the glaciers in Alaska? We did. Yeah, in Skagway, we did it. We were supposed to fly to the dog sled camp, but the clouds were too low, so they gave us the option to go to a glacier instead, so we went to the glacier. It was so much fun. They flew us one way to the glacier and then flew us another way on the way back, so we really got to see a lot of the landscape. Amazing.
Got to walk around.
Got to walk around. Your husband and you don't drink much, is it worth purchasing an alcohol beverage package? Probably not. So on Royal Caribbean, we do the refreshment package because that is your sodas, your mocktails, and the specialty coffees. So we think that's really worth it. On Norwegian Cruise Line, they do the free at sea. So for the two of you for a 1-week cruise, it's going to be about $300 because all you have to do is pay for the gratuities. That might be worth it, but no specialty coffee is included in that.
And the Princess. Okay.
She doesn't let me get to the next one. Princess, if you're going on Princess, the Princess Plus, I think is a very good package because that is the Wi-Fi, the gratuities, and the drink package. So your drink package ends up costing somewhere like around $25 a day per person. That might be worth it. But there's, we go all the time and do a la carte.
Plus, you get on the Princess Plus, you get 2 specialty desserts per day.
Exactly. Yeah, per day.
He can have gelato twice per day.
Any experience on a cruise to Cuba? We were booked on a cruise to Cuba, and then the U.S. government said we couldn't go. So no, I do not. Kate is going on Royal Caribbean in December. Best cruise line for Alaska. We lean into Princess and Holland America because they've been doing it the longest, especially if you want to do a cruise tour. I'm going to lean into Princess. They do it best. We've been booking clients on Alaska cruise tours for the past few weeks. So yeah, those two, and then maybe Celebrity after that. But there's so many cruise lines. I think there's over 60 ships in Alaska this year. So you have a lot of things to do up there. Best excursion in Alaska. I think the helicopter to the glacier was my favorite. Oh, well, maybe the Harvin Marv whale watching because there was only 4 of us on the boat. So that was amazing. That was truly amazing. So best 5-day cruise out of Miami. It just depends on what you're looking for. I don't know what you like and what you're looking for. So that depends. It totally depends on what you're looking to get out of the cruise. So you're really going to need to get on the right ship for that one because you're going to be on the ship for most of that cruise. You loved Coco Cay. You did beach club and didn't have to spend...
No, did beach day.
Oh, you did a beach day. Sorry. Didn't have to spend any money. That is awesome. Does having AARP help with cruise discounts?
Not that I'm aware.
Only if, like AARP, I think has like their own travel thing, and so there may be like specific cruises that they can book for you, but that's pretty much all I know of. You booked a Havana suite. What are our thoughts on a Havana suite? So from what we understand, and I assume you're talking about Carnival, on the Vista and the Horizon and the Panorama, the Havana area is a much bigger area than it is on the Celebration, Mardi Gras, and Jubilee. People who have been on the Vista class and then went on Mardi Gras Celebration were not as happy with that area on those two ships.
It still looks nice to me,
It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful, but it sounds like if you had the experience on the Vista class, you might not like it as much, but it's a beautiful area. You got your own space, and you got the best coffee on the whole ship in the Havana bar. That Cuban coffee is amazing. So, you prepaid the gratuity. Do you tip anyone while you are cruising? Yeah, I wait till the end of the cruise. But yeah, generally my bartender, I always find one bartender that I really, really like. We always give the room steward a little something, something. And if we have a particular server that we really enjoy, we'll give them a little something, something too. Great movie reference. You got it. You got it. Greenland. Yay. I was hoping somebody was going to get that. Opinion on Holland America. Beautiful ships. Absolutely beautiful ships. Especially, as you get up New Amsterdam, New Stottendam, certainly the Rotterdam, brand new. We saw her 2 weeks ago when we were on the Sky Princess. In fact, I thought she was going to come like right up and bump into us. She was coming so close. But yeah, beautiful ship. Excellent music these days. They've added the B.B. King. They've added the Rolling Stone Magazine Club. They've added the Billboard Club. They've got the Lincoln Center. We really love Tamarind. We thought the main dining room was okay. The buffet was really good. Actually, I thought the buffet was better than the main dining room.
Although we understand they have redone their menus in the main dining room since we've sailed them.
Yeah, so I absolutely, I'd have no problem booking you on Holland. I think they're wonderful. Do we have a Facebook account? Yes, we've got 2. I've got a public page, Where's Walter Travel? And then we've got the group. Yeah, there we go. The private Facebook group's right there. Plus, you can click on my logo. There's a link directly to it. There's a whole set of links. If you click on my logo here on TikTok, you're going to see a whole set of links. Mexico advice. It depends. Well, what side of Mexico are you talking about? East side, west side? I don't know. I can't give you any just generic Mexico advice other than to say there's a lot of fun things to do in Mexico, for sure. Is the key worth it on Royal? When does Royal usually have sales on their excursions? So they have sales all the time. Black Friday is like their biggest one. They were actually, it might still be running it. They were running a pretty good one just recently. The key for Rebecca, what she did, she was watching the price of the key, and when it got close to the internet price, that's when she booked it, because you get internet with the key. So her thinking was, well, if it's about the same price as the internet, why not just get the key with the added benefits, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my other strategy with Royal Caribbean, the minute I book, I look up what all the various things I might want to purchase, what they cost. I write that down, and then I track it, because sometimes they'll say, oh, this is 50% off. But if I look at what it was originally,
Right.
it is not.
Yeah, so Royal Caribbean is notorious for, like, the price is $65 today, and then tomorrow it's going to be 40% off, but the price is now $72. How did it go 40% off, but the price went up? So keep an eye on that. Watch the actual price. Pay no attention to Royal Caribbean sales. Pay attention to the actual dollar amount.
50% off. Buy one, get one free. That's all meaningless.
Yeah.
Look at and track the dollar amount so you know when it actually is a good deal.
Exactly.
Purchase it whenever you want, and most things, if it does get lower, you can cancel and then just rebook.
Correct.
I mean, things that sell out, that might be more difficult. But
Exactly.
like the drink package or dining package,
Right.
you book it and then you see it lower, cancel the original one,
And do
then
it.
rebook it.
Yeah. How do we do all these vacations? We do so many. We're fortunate that we live in Orlando, so we've got Port Canaveral 1 hour away, Tampa's about 2.5, and then Fort Lauderdale,
And
Miami
honestly,
are about 3.5, 4 hours away.
I think it seems like we go on more than we actually do.
It might, and let's keep in mind we're annual pass holders at Disney. We're only 30 minutes away, so we're in Disney a lot too. Mexican Riviera next week. Any ideas for excursion? I will say, I would literally go to our website and click on that Shore Excursions group, or click on my logo and click that link for Shore Excursions group. They've got some really good ones in that area. We've not done the Mexican Riviera, but I've had multiple clients go there, and I've been looking at some of those excursions. There's some really nice tours in there. There's some like horseback riding. I think there's some food tours. So that would be my advice, is to check the Shore Excursions group. That's an independent group, and they have a return to ship guarantee. That would be my best advice. Sorry. Let's see. Thank you. When's the best time to go to Alaska for whale watching? I don't know about a specific time. We went the last week of May, first week of June, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we went last week of May, first week of June, and we had great whale watching then. But I think, pretty much that whole season, there are whales up there. That's one of the reasons why they do it, other than the fact that that's when they can do it because of the ice. But I can just tell you, based on our experience, last week of May, first week of June, we had a great experience with whale watching. You've never been on, hello, Toffee Coco. Oh my goodness, Toffee Coco, I like your handle. That sounds great. You've never been on a cruise, isn't it just like a floating hotel? It's more like a floating Las Vegas resort. It's what it is. So because you've got the entertainment, you've got, just regular dining, you've got buffet, but then you've got specialty restaurants, and then you've got a lot of activities to do. So it's more like a Las Vegas resort if you've ever been to one. Celebrity or Princess? Yes. Honestly, they're both great cruise lines. They both have beautiful ships. So it just depends on what you're looking for. I think they're great. You travel on Epic on NCL in April. Do you know how much the daily pass for the Haven Beach? I do not offhand.
I thought it was the Vibe Beach Club. I think the Haven is just for suite guests. There is a Vibe Beach Club. I don't know what it costs.
Yeah, that's true, because you can't get into the Haven, so you're probably talking about unless you're in the Haven.
And then it doesn't cost anything to be in the Haven.
Anybody who's not in the Haven can't get in the Haven, but there is a Vibe Beach Club. So.
And I've never booked it because everyone I've ever seen looks like there is zero shade, and I am prone to burning very quickly.
Exactly.
Even with SPF 800.
Uncle Bunk's asked about cruising, including Puerto Rico. San Juan's one of my favorite ports in all of the Caribbean because there is so much to do. It's a great walking port if you're just looking for a port where you can just walk around and go shopping, go eat, go see that fabulous fort that is off to one side. I love all cruises that include San Juan. So what's your biggest question about cruising before you went on your first cruise? That's a really good one. That's a really good one, Andrew. I like that question a lot.
What's your biggest question before we went on our first
Whether I would even like it, because I didn't want to go on it. I didn't want to go on my first cruise. Ironic, right? Now here we are 17, 18 years later, and I'm selling cruises and I'm selling all kinds of travel. But I just really thought I was going to be bored. I really thought I was going to be bored, even though, and we were on the Caribbean Princess. And this was 2006? Yeah, 2006, our 10th wedding anniversary. And I I didn't want to go. And Rebecca basically said, well, if you're not going, I am. So she kind of twisted my arm and got me on the ship. And then the third day on the ship, we booked our second cruise. So it was, what about you? Did you have any concerns?
Well, I did so much research. I was researching like mad. So I had a pretty good handle on things.
Yeah.
But that was because I'm a little obsessive with that.
Yeah, good question, Andrew. Little Miss Sunshine, what's the key? So the key is an add-on package on Royal Caribbean. It sort of kind of gives you some suite privileges without buying a suite. You get priority embarkation. You get an embarkation lunch, which in our experience on Symphony of the Seas was not worth it. It wasn't that great.
You can drop off your bags.
That's the biggie. If you're rolling on carry-on luggage, you know your room's not going to be available till 1 or 1:30. You can actually drop your bags off, which is really nice. I think that's actually one of the best things, and it includes the internet. So you can just look it up. Just Google search the Key Royal Caribbean, and you'll see the perks.
And you get some private time on like Flow Rider, the ice skating, things like that.
Yeah. So somebody's asking, what is Boom and Internet package? That is the internet package on Royal Caribbean. I believe on all the ships that have Starlink, they only have one package now, just a high speed. They call it Boom. So that's basically what it is. When you buy a drink a la carte, do you have to tip or include it? When you buy, that's actually a great question, Miss Minnie. Thank you for that one. When you buy it a la carte, they are automatically going to add an 18 or 20% gratuity. I think NCL's
depending on the cruise line.
Yeah, I think NCL's up to 20% now. They are going to add a gratuity on that. So you don't feel obligated to tip at all. What I do with the drinks, and I find a bartender or maybe two that I really, really like. And then at the end of the cruise, I will give them something. But as we're going along, I might throw $1 on there. I might throw 50 cents on there. Like if they give me a cappuccino with a really nice design on top, I might throw a little something in there. But you don't have to.
The only exception to that is Virgin Voyages, where the price you pay is exactly the price you pay. Tips are included.
Yeah, and it's like $7 for a beer, $6 for a beer, and $9 for a cocktail. What about the Celebrity Reflection? Beautiful ship, absolutely beautiful ship. We have sailed her. We sailed her when cuisine was the original version of tapas, not the Le Petit Chef that it is now. But if you're a pool person, beautiful pools outside, and then they have an awesome solarium inside with a little cafe right there with coffee, tea, little snacks, and things like that. The food in the main dining room is a step above most other cruise lines. Really good buffet. I love their English breakfast. It's the only cruise line I've seen that has fried toast in the morning. I get addicted to it every single time I go on to Celebrity. But the Celebrity Reflection is an absolutely lovely ship. And of course they've got the Lawn Club grill, the Lawn Club upstairs, which is really, really nice. I like that. It's natural grass up there. I play bocce every time we go on it. The Celebrity Reflection is really nice, very much an adult ship. The best part about Celebrity for me is the officers versus the guest volleyball game. It's usually on the last sea day.
In the pool.
I love that. Yeah, it's a pool volleyball game. It is so much fun. I don't know why other cruise lines don't do it. It's absolutely hilarious. So, I am Party Patty. If your package includes gratuities, do you need to tip anywhere on board for drinks, etc.?
The gratuities that are included in the package are your daily service fees, which go to dining staff and hotel staff.
So that's the hotel staff. That's not the bars.
And the drinks will automatically have a gratuity added if you're buying a la carte. If you have a package for the drinks, the package will you'll either have to pay a gratuity on the package or it will include the gratuity depending on the line.
Yep.
Spa treatments will automatically get a gratuity added. So basically, either the gratuities will be automatically added or you will already have paid them, so you're not required to tip any extra.
Yeah. Basically, what it comes down to, when you see your bill, you're going to see whether there's a gratuity added or not. But the prepaid gratuities are basically the hotel gratuities, the one that you pay with your cruise fare. That's the hotel gratuities. So small ships are better. I would disagree with that. I think it's
We enjoy both.
yeah. Symphony of the Seas was an absolutely fantastic cruise, and we also loved. I mean, we were on the Sapphire Princess, which was a relatively small ship. So I think all ships are great. It just depends on what you're looking for. Best thing to do in St. Thomas and St. Martin. Well, in St. Martin, I always enjoy going to see that Yoda guy, although he doesn't open until about 11:30. So don't go there too early. It is Nick Maley. He's one of the gentlemen who worked on the original Star Wars set of movies, and he's one of the guys who created Yoda. So that's always a lot of fun. And we used to go to the Old Man St. Martin guava berry stand, but they've shut it down. They only have a small one left at the port. In St. Thomas, what are we doing in St. Oh, there's a food tour in St. Thomas now, which we have not done yet. But St. Thomas, I played golf one time in St. Thomas, and usually that's a port that we just kind of walk around. So
there are nice beaches in St.
Yeah,
Thomas
really nice
and
beaches
St.
in
Martin
St.
as
Thomas.
well.
yeah, Little Miss Sunshine. Have we ever been to Haiti? If you're talking about Labadee with Royal Caribbean, yeah, we have. In some ways, I like it more than Coco Cay. I think it actually has better beaches than Coco Cay. But yeah, it's a nice place. There's not all of that. There's no water park. There's none of all that stuff going on. It's a much quieter place.
There is some of that floaty
Yeah.
stuff out in one of the bays.
Exactly. So it's a much quieter scene than being at Coco Cay. What is fried toast? Exactly what it sounds like. It's fried toast. I don't know how they do it. They literally fried the toast, and it's so good with an egg. So does Carnival line have like the key? I don't think they have any program.
They have what they call Faster to the Fun, but it's not.
That's right. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Doesn't have everything that the key has.
Yeah, and I honestly don't know. It's not available on all ships, not available on all sailings. I think it just now started back up on some ships.
It did, because I saw the guys at This Cruise Life post about it. So I know it's like priority embarkation for sure, but I'd have to go back and look up what everything is. So going on Carnival in June, nervous because I see reviews it smells like sewage. I mean, that's probably a specific ship, so I don't know. All ship, like even on the Princess, on the Sky Princess, if you stood in a certain area and the wind would blow in the right way out on the top decks, you get the smell because, they have a whole sewage processing plant right on the ship. They have to. Every cruise ship has it. And if you are in certain places on the upper deck and the wind is blowing just right, even though they have scrubbers on all the pipes and everything, you may get a faint whiff of some unpleasant smells from time to time. You will get that on every single ship, to be honest with you. So how many inflatable cruise ships? I have 2 inflatables and 1 plushie. My handicap, I don't know, I haven't played golf in about 5 years. Have we been to Princess Keys? A long time ago. And we enjoyed it the one time. So the one time that we were there, we did a back-to-back, and so we went twice, and we just went one time. I remember it had really, really nice beaches. Now, it is a tender port, which means the ship's going to stop out in the bay, and then they're going to have to bring you in. I believe if they're still doing it the same way, they use the lifeboats at the time. So I don't know what it's like, but it's a beautiful beach. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a beach resort.
And I did see a review from Para DJ where they went to Princess Keys and they were able to do some snorkeling from the beach. They actually saw squid.
Yeah.
Which was cool. I've never seen actual live squid in the ocean.
That's kind of fun. Uncle Bunks, which Florida port is best for airfare coming from Phoenix? I have noticed that Fort Lauderdale, like if you're going to Miami, it tends to be cheaper going to Fort Lauderdale. That's what I've noticed. Now, if you fly into if you fly into Orlando, you got a 3.5 hour ride to get down to the port. So if you're talking Fort Lauderdale or Miami, probably Fort Lauderdale is going to be cheaper, and then it's about a 30-minute hop. A shuttle will take you right to the port.
30-40 minutes.
Yeah, depending on the traffic. So, what is our favorite spot on the Voyage of the Seas on embarkation day and places to relax quietly? Well, we were on the Mariner of the Seas, so to relax. So embarkation day is a loud day. That is a loud day. So if you have a balcony, your own balcony, that will be the quietest place on the ship. Beyond that, I don't know, because the ship's always hopping on embarkation day. So I can't remember if that class has a library or not. That'll certainly be quiet. The main dining room, if you just want to go get some lunch, the main dining room will be relatively quiet compared to the rest of the ship. Certainly stay out of the promenade on embarkation day. That's the loudest spot because everybody's coming on to the ship.
And a lot of the nightclubs and lounges during the
This
day
is true. The
are
nightclubs
very nice places to like read or play cards.
correct. Not the ones on the promenade, but if you find the ones that are not on the promenade, they'll probably be good. Is priority access worth the cost on NCL? That's up to you. That's totally up to you. I can't tell you whether it's worth the cost or not because that's 100% up to you. Do they have adult only, no kids? That would be Virgin Voyages and Viking. Those are the two.
18 plus.
18 plus on both. And on Virgin Voyages, I don't know about Viking, but on Virgin Voyages, 18-year-olds can drink on the ship once the ship leaves U.S. waters. So they don't do the 21 drinking age, they do 18 drinking age. But on Virgin Voyages, you have to have a passport. So if you don't have a passport, you can't go on Virgin Voyages. Do we also book resorts, etc.? Yes. Yes, we book everything. We can even send you to the Super Bowl, or if you want to go to the Monaco Grand Prix, or you want to go to Wimbledon, we can send you to those things too. So yeah, we are a full-service travel agency. Thank you so much for asking, actually, because everybody does think we only do cruises. But we book European tours. We book people in the theme parks here in Orlando. We can even book, so we have off-the-shelf tour partners, you know. These are the tours you can take, or you can just simply say, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to do this, I want to do that. And we have tour partners that can literally put together a custom package just for you and nobody else and do that. So yeah, we can literally book anything. I'm actually putting together a package right now for an all-inclusive honeymoon for one of our clients right now. So yeah, if you'd like to talk to us, please do. I'll put that back there. And of course, I've got the logo, so you can just click the link and talk to us. Talk about taking golf clubs with you on a cruise. Where do they store them on the ship? You would keep them in your cabin.
And as for Walter, when he did it, he rented clubs.
Yeah, it was part of the whole package. We got clubs with it. You could bring your own club, but in my case, I paid extra and I just got the local club. So yeah. So somebody asked if my commission. Oh, the second question on that. So my commission is 100% tied to the cost of the cruise, and I don't worry about it. If the price drops, we are going to call the cruise line and we're going to get your price reduced. I'm not. If I was only worried about commission, I would be doing things completely different. We wouldn't be nearly as successful as we are right now. One of the things that we do is we make sure that we give the client the best vacation. The commissions take care of themselves. I never even look at that when I'm booking. We are looking at what is the best ship, what is the best all-inclusive, what's the best theme park, what's the best hotel for the client for what they want to do. Commissions take care of themselves. And yes, if the price goes down, that affects the commission. Asking for a family member, can you smoke on your balcony? No.
Absolutely not.
Not.
Not
In
smoking,
Europe.
Not vaping.
Yeah, now in Europe you can on some cruise lines. I think Costa, maybe MSC allows it. But here in the US, no smoking, no vaping. You can do a search on, I can't remember the name of the Princess ship, but over 100 cabins burned because somebody was smoking a cigarette and they threw it overboard and it came back and landed on a balcony down below and caught fire and literally over 100 cabins burned. So absolutely not. And there are cameras everywhere. As long as you are not inside your cabin, you are on camera. So there are literally thousands of cameras around, and if they see you smoking, they will come. And certainly your cabin mates will report you if you're smoking out there.
And you will get charged a cleaning fee.
A substantial,
very high cleaning fee.
A substantial cleaning fee. So favorite things about Discovery Princess, you're traveling Mexican Riviera in April. So we just got off the Sky Princess. And that is a sister ship. Amazing ship. Absolutely amazing ship. I want to say, you know, Alfredo pizza could be a charge, but it's not. I'm not sure if Alfredo's is on that. I know it's not on every single one of them.
Well, it's either Alfredo's or Gigi's.
Yeah, Gigi's. So we always loved the pizza by the pool, and it was still good, but Alfredo's was even better. It was so much better. But you know, we had one half of a really good meal at Sabatini's, and then the second half fell apart. I'll be doing a whole vlog on that shortly, and they took care of it. They really did take care of it. They ended up they didn't comp us that dinner. They wanted to bring us back there for dinner, but we ended up going to the Crown Grill instead. And then the manager just kept finding us all the time. That's one of the things about the Medallion. They will find you if there's a customer service issue. You don't need to worry about, you know, going to find them. The dining manager found us in the main dining room. You know, we saw him coming across and he specifically came right to me and said, I heard you had a problem with Sabatini's. We'd like to take care of it. You know, he's talking to me in the dining room about it. And then, you know, every time I saw him in the hallway. So, but I would still go back to Sabatini's. Crown Grill was much better than we remembered it on previous ships on the Sky Princess. And
Discovery will have the gelato, the authentic gelato.
Yeah, so the authentic gelato, I think it's worth it. I believe they're going to have the Good Spirits bar. I really enjoy, if you like a good craft cocktail, that is a really, really good bar. It's like the world-class bar on Celebrity, so very, very good. You're welcome. Just asking, can we book Carnival Casino offers? Yes, we can. We do it for all of the cruise lines. Like I was saying earlier, I booked a client on a 15-day Hawaii cruise from LA, and it was $100 or $200 for the whole cruise because it was a casino offer. That was really amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, this can't be real. And it was. I was in an interior cabin. He could have gotten a balcony, I think $500. He could have gotten a balcony for 15 days. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So yes, we can. We absolutely can. So, oh my God, I'm caught up on the questions. Wow, I don't think that's happened in a long time. Yay! Man, you guys are asking a lot of great questions. So, do we do groups? Oh yeah, oh great, perfect, Little Miss Sunshine. Do we do groups? How many? And we already know the cruise ship and date. So, yes, 100% I do groups. And groups are a great way, you know, if you got a bunch of friends that like to do a similar thing, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, if it's a group cruise, everybody's doing the same thing. No, sometimes we put together groups just to save you guys, you know, some money or to get you some extra perks or whatever. Depending on the cruise line, is 8 or 10 cabins. And for the most part, it's double occupancy. So that means 16 to 20 people in order to get a group, right? But yeah, so that's basically it. Now on Virgin Voyages, it's 10 cabins. Because they have so many solo cabins, it's just 10 cabins. And they have one of the better deals. Their group package actually has some really nice onboard credit and stuff like that. But yes, we absolutely can book a group for you. If you'd like to talk to us, you can go ahead and book time. I know I got time this afternoon. If you want to chat, go ahead and book time on the calendar and we can hop on a call. But yeah, so most cruise lines, 8 to 10 cabins, double occupancy, 16 to 20 people. Except on Virgin Voyages, it's just 10 cabins. So. Have we ever had a client use a resort for a day on a Mexican Riviera? I don't think any of our clients have done it. I know that's a popular thing, you know, like there's some like all-inclusives. They do it in Cozumel. They do it in Costa Maya.
We had something booked in Cozumel once, and then I sprained my ankle, and it seemed like walking on sand would be less than optimal.
And in the Bahamas, you know, you can do Atlantis, you can do Margaritaville. As well. So a lot of people do it. You know, that is one of the options to go there and do it. I don't know. I don't really see the appeal in it because you're basically paying for the same thing you have on the ship.
Yeah, but
you know, I mean, you get the beach, you get some attention.
And a lot of them include food and drinks and activities.
Which sounds just like the cruise ship. For me, when I'm on land, I want to do something I can't do on the ship primarily. But, you know, if it's a really nice beach, like the Bimini Beach Club where Virgin Voyages goes in, I would pay for that. You know, some other cruise lines have that, like as an excursion. It's included with Virgin Voyages. I would pay for the Bimini Beach Club because that is an absolutely stunning beach, beautiful sand.
There's a lot of resorts that are just like that.
Yeah. So, oh, thank you. Thank you for offering to book with us. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Once again, I'm caught up. Look at that. This is amazing. I'm so excited. I'm never caught up. I always feel bad because y'all are asking, you know, the same question over and over, and I can't get to them fast enough. So I always feel bad about that. So, Uncle Bunks, how best handle? Let me say this right. How is the best way to handle a room number assignment? Well. Actually, I'll answer the second question first. If you booked an 8-day Horizon but have not made a final payment, can you transfer the booking to you? Generally, within 30 days of booking the cruise, you can transfer. After 30 days, you can't. But if you're up to final payment, you're probably too late. But if you're in the 30-day window since you booked the cruise, you can do it. Unless it's after the final payment time, then you got like 14 days to make the transfer, or some of them it's like 7 days. So, but back to Uncle Bunks, how best to handle a room number assignment? Generally working with somebody like us, you know, either ourselves or another travel agent, because we will look at the deck plans. We'll look at what you want, whether you've got some issues with motion sickness. The biggest things we're looking for, I don't want you under the pool deck. I don't want you near the theater. Especially don't want you near the nightclubs. Would like to keep you from being underneath the buffet, anything that's going to make noise. And then of course the elevators are going to go ding, ding, ding all night. So, you probably don't want those doors, cabins that are literally right there. As you walk out your door, you walk right into the elevator. So working with a travel agent can certainly help get you a good cabin assignment. How many bags can you bring on a cruise?
Most cruise lines don't have a limit.
I was going to say, they don't.
I think Virgin might, but you basically check the FAQs for the individual cruise line.
Yeah.
But most of them do not.
Yeah, and I think because so many people take like seven night cruises anyway, but I think the most I've seen people bring on is like 2 full size and a carry-on, maybe per person, but that would be for a 14 night, 21 night, something like that. But I will say this, you don't need as much luggage as you think you do. You can do a 21-day cruise with one big piece of luggage because there's this thing called laundry on the ship. And so, you go a week, you send your stuff off to the laundry. It's no big deal. So,
and certain ships will have self-service laundry as well.
Yeah. So she booked a resort for a day in Puerto Vallarta for the beach. There you go. If it's a beautiful beach, go for it. And that is the thing too, the resorts will take care of their beaches. If you're going to a public beach, it may not be quite as nice. So if you really want a nice beach, generally it is going to be worth it. Like we've been to some of these, tours and beach. In fact, Sean and Steph always made a joke about it. Every cruise has the and beach tour. And when you do the and beach tour, you generally don't go to the nicest beaches. Whereas when you pay for a beach excursion or you pay for a resort, you're going to get a better beach. So, Christy, nice. How much should you tip the porter taking your luggage? I've seen mixed reviews, tip, no tip. Well, you always should tip them, for sure. What do we do, 2 or 5?
2 to 5 per bag, depending on how heavy the bag is.
Yeah, if the bag is really, really heavy, like, we've had some heavy bags of late, so we'll give them $5. But generally, 2 to 5 per bag is what you're going to do. You should always tip them, especially in the Florida heat when it's hot out. You should definitely tip them. There you go. Okay. Oh my gosh, I've caught up again. Yay. Nice. I want to tell you guys this really interesting story. They always tell you do not take food off or on to the ship.
Unless it's in sealed
packaging. A cruise passenger was fined $3,300 in Australia for breaching Australia's biosecurity laws. Passenger had just completed a cruise to New Zealand when customs officers found a significant amount of illegal materials in their bag. And what was it? It looks like herbs, like literally herbs. Oh yeah, it was. He brought in 2 live plants: a coconut shell, seed pods, betel nut, mustard stick shells, coral, and dried plant materials. These were just plants. It's not marijuana, not drugs. These were just plants and seeds, and he was fined $3,300. The same applies in the U.S. You can't bring live plants and seeds and things like that.
Fruit.
From the Caribbean
vegetables.
fruit. You can't take it and bring it onto the ship or take it off the ship when you come back to the U.S. So, wow. You booked February 27th. Final payment is due August 3rd. Can we give the booking to you February 27th? We're in that window, so yeah, you can. If you'd like to, I believe we're still in the window where you should be able to. Simply reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to give you the information you're going to need to do that. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Again, I'll pop this up here. Walter at where'swaltertravel.com. That's how to email me. And I can send you, it's either going to be a link where you fill out the information or it's going to be a PDF that you fill out. And you're going to need information from me to make the transfer. So I appreciate that. And just so all of you know that, if you book a cruise and then you find a nice travel agent you like, then you can just simply transfer that cruise over to the travel agent. And if you're on a cruise, absolutely go to the Future Cruise Desk and see what kind of specials and offers they have. Because if I book the cruise for you, it's automatically going to transfer over to me anyway. So I encourage all of my clients, go to the Future Cruise Desk, see what's there.
May or may not be something you're interested in, but it's always worth checking out.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that I've been helpful. I appreciate that. What about the dangers of going to Mexico? I don't think there's necessarily any dangers so much of going to Mexico so long as you stay with cruise excursions or you stay with known excursion. Now, if you're going to be walking around on your own, this is true of pretty much any port. Falmouth, Jamaica, we will not leave the cruise port area on our own. We do not feel safe walking out there. This is Falmouth, Jamaica. So
And
you
we've
just
heard
have
the same
to,
about Ensenada.
yeah, and so you just, well, that's Mexico.
Yeah, I know.
So you just need to do research. If you plan to just simply get off the ship and walk around in any cruise port, you need to do the research because every cruise port could be somewhat of a danger. I mentioned Nassau, Bahamas earlier, where Stephanie said if she didn't have Ben and David with her, she may not have felt as safe walking back to the ship as it was starting to get dark. So I don't think there's any more dangers of going to Mexico than there is a lot of other Caribbean ports. Now, if you're talking about the incident that was just in the news, that has nothing to do with a cruise port. That wasn't even near a cruise port. You just have to do your research. You really have to do your research. Have we ever checked out the glass factory in Cabo? We have not.
We've not been to the west coast of Mexico.
Yeah, we haven't been to the West Coast yet. We haven't done a West Coast cruise. I can tell you we did glass blowing on Celebrity, on the Celebrity Equinox. That was absolutely amazing. But we have not. If anybody else has been to the glass factory who's watching right now, feel free to chime in.
And if you want to figure out how close it is to the port, you can Google port to glass factory.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned this earlier. If there's a link, if you click on my little logo, you're going to see a link in my link tree that says Shore Excursions. Click on that. That's the Shore Excursions group. They have a return to ship guarantee. And what you can do is just simply put in your cruise line and your ship and your date, and it'll bring up literally your entire itinerary with excursions you can book. That might be in there. And you might find that, hey, just doing an excursion for that might be even cheaper than taking a cab. I'm always nervous about cabs. I want to do research on all the cab companies before I get to the port.
There are a lot of countries and cities where the cabs are regulated and it's always specific rates. So you can research and find out if that's the case there.
Exactly. Thank you. So you looked at the excursion, didn't see it. So cruisecritic.com. They have an entire section of the forums called Ports of Call. You can go to Mexico and then look up Cabo, and probably somebody has posted about it. If they have not, you can set yourself up with an account and ask the question, and somebody should be able to answer who's actually done it. So I hope that helped. Jess is saying, before my cruise life adventure began, what was your previous life adventure? I was in television and documentary filmmaking, and I had my own creative agency for almost 20 years, and I was a marketing executive most recently. So most of my work has been in video storytelling, marketing, and advertising prior to this. If you ever watched the show called Good Eats with Alton Brown on the Food Network, I was the post-production supervisor, editor, and animator for seasons 9 through 12. So I got to work with Alton. That was a lot of fun. And ran my own creative agency for a while. So that's why I do all of this content production. That's why I enjoy doing it so much, because I've been pretty much doing it for over 30 years. Yeah. So prior to becoming a travel agent, that's what I was doing. And now, what was really cool about having my own creative agency was Rebecca and I were working together. And when I closed the agency, I worked for Georgia Pacific. I worked for a company in Florida. I worked for a company in Texas. And then I actually came here to Orlando to work for a company, and they ended up shutting down my job like 6 months after I got here. So we became travel agents. And so it's been nice to go back to working with Rebecca again. So that's what I did prior. You can still see my work on I think it's on Cooking Channel now, is where that show is. So info on bringing an infant on board. You need to check the FAQs. What is it, 6 months? 6
months for most cruises, although I think transatlantic, transpacific, it might be 1 year. But definitely check the FAQs.
Check the FAQs of that particular cruise line. Certainly not on Virgin, nobody under 18. But check the FAQs, because certain cruises may, like, I don't know about Panama Canal too. There might be some issues with Panama Canal. So certain itineraries may have certain restrictions that are different. Just like somebody asked about vaccines and things like that. Like if you're going to Grand Turk, you got to have a vaccine to get off the ship. So it could affect it.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's they have to be at least 6 months old.
Yeah.
Could be a little more, but check the FAQs to be sure.
And I did notice Royal Caribbean actually had babysitters I don't know if that was part of the Genie package or what, but I saw actual babysitters on Symphony of the Seas with the Royal Caribbean logo, walking babies around in strollers. So they had actual babysitting service on Royal Caribbean. Again, I don't know if that was part of the Genie service, the butler service.
I think
suites,
you can pay for that.
Yeah.
It's just an hourly rate.
And again, that's going to be different for everybody. Some won't. Some cruise lines have what they call like the night owl package too. So like you can go out and then you can leave the kids with the service and whatnot. But not everybody does, and not all hours of the day. So you definitely want to look that up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you did have that live stream you did with Christy all about traveling with children.
Yes, and Christy. That's true. It's on YouTube. We ended up recording it. If you go to our YouTube channel, Christy and I had a whole conversation about her going with her entire family on the Liberty of the Seas. So you'll find it in our live stream section. Yeah. So you're just gonna have to look it up. You're just gonna have to look it up. So, what else do we have going on? Let's see. Celebrity cruises. How do we find such an attractive woman? I just asked her enough times until I wore her down. That's what I did. Ooh, new program for the Icon of the Seas is coming. I'll tell you what, I am so excited about the Icon of the Seas. I really am. For those of you of a certain age, you remember Richard Scarry books, right? That's what the ship looks like when I see the renderings and the drawings and all that. It reminds me of a Richard Scarry book. It is so ridiculous when you see all of that. And I'm just like, I want to go on there and see it.
I think Dr. Seuss more for me.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss. Wow, girl, thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll hang out here for a little bit longer. If anybody else has some more questions, feel free to chime in. Happy to answer any more questions. We will be back on the Scarlet Lady April 9th.
28 days.
Yeah, so in 28 days we'll be back on the Scarlet Lady, so we'll do another live stream from the ship while we're on that ship.
Although we're boarding on a Sunday, so I don't know when.
Yeah, it'll be like in the afternoon or something like. You love the Sky Princess? Yeah, I've got so much content from the Sky Princess, and I still have content from Symphony of the Seas that I need to edit. I desperately need to get back in there and edit some of that. But yeah, it was a beautiful cruise. If anybody's thinking about Princess, if you're thinking about that Royal class, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, one thing about the Royal class with Princess, if you're going to Alaska, they do not do the inside passage. They have to go around on the outside. So if you really want to do the inside passage, you've got to do some of the smaller Princess ships or just any smaller ship. That probably also means things like the Quantum class. I don't know if they can do the inside passage, some of those ships. So if you're going on some of these bigger ships, especially like Norwegian, Royal Caribbean and all that, take a look to see if they're actually going to do the inside passage or if they're going to go around it. So I'm assuming that there's a certain size of ship because all the Princess ships do the inside passage except the Royal class. So, and man, that Sun Princess, people. Mm-hmm. Wow. Just absolutely wow. I think I'm more excited about Sun Princess than I am about the Icon. Because it's such a radical change
for Princess.
Icon is just expanding on the Oasis class. Taking the Quantum class, the Oasis class, take the best of those two worlds, put them together onto a ship, and then put the most ridiculous water park up on the top. 17 slides, 19 slides altogether, something like that. But Sky Princess, and I honestly didn't realize until I was going through all the itineraries again that she's coming here in September of 2024. So she's doing an amazing 25-day transatlantic that actually starts at 2,600 for an interior. And the new cabins are gorgeous. They're more celebrity-esque. They're like celebrity edge cabins, so they're really, really nice. So Sun Princess are just amazing. Chris, you're doing a Panama partial on Ruby Princess and a suite in January. Thoughts and suggestions? Yes. So what I highly recommend, and this was so much fun, taking an excursion on a boat that will take you all the way through to the Pacific Ocean. And the reason why I say this is so much fun, we did it, and you're on a small boat. You're on a boat, I don't know, 200, 250 people maybe, which means, when you come into the Panama Canal on the ship, it's amazing, right? And what's really cool is if you go down to the promenade, depending on the ship you're on, we were on Island? Island Princess. The promenade was level with the ground and the dock, and then of course the ship got lifted up, right? But when you're on a smaller boat doing an excursion, going all the way through, you're just looking up at the wall. Like the walls are just, 8, 10 feet, 20 feet above your head. And then you've got to get lifted up. It's a totally different experience. So I highly recommend doing that.
Because they do have excursions that leave from Gatun Lake.
All the way through, and then they bring you back on a bus. And then that was my coffee tour. So I don't know about yours. We did Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, and Jamaica. And I brought home 10 pounds of coffee. I really did. I thought I was going to get nailed by the drug dogs at the airport, but I didn't. So that's what I did. It was really a lot of fun. And somewhere, Costa Rica, I think it was, we did this whole like nature tour, sloth tour, sloth sanctuary. That was a lot of fun. It really was. And then in Jamaica, I did like a coffee. Oh, in Jamaica, we did zip lining with way too much rum punch. Way too much rum punch, but it was a lot of fun. And then I bought Blue Mountain coffee. How do you book time to talk with me again? You click on the logo and you will see a link right to my calendar, or just go to where'swaltertravel.com and click contact us. I have a whole calendar, a whole online calendar thing set up. You just pick a time that's convenient for you and we'll hop on a call. Absolutely. Or a whatchamacallit, video chat. So yes, your choice, video chat. Am I still advising Mexico travel despite a level 4 warning? For cruises, yes. For going interior.
And there's only certain states.
Yeah, we're at a level 4 warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the entire country. So if you're going on a cruise and you're going on either a cruise excursion or a scheduled excursion, yeah, I have absolutely no problem sending people into Mexico for those. Have I done any of the Denali excursion? Absolutely. And in fact, that's a great thing you brought up. There are 2 main excursions in Denali National Park. There is the Denali History Tour, which is a bus ride that will take you into mile 12 on the road. And then there is the Tundra Wilderness Tour, which used to take you up to 92 miles in. Now, if you're traveling with Princess and you're doing the cruise tour, the Denali History Tour is included. That bus ride that goes 12 miles in.
Natural History Tour.
The Natural History Tour that goes 12. That's included. We recommend paying for the Tundra Wilderness Tour because that bus ride takes you way in. However, part of the road has given out. So the bus stops now at mile 42, 44. It will not take you all the way to mile 66 any longer. But that is a really cool ride. And then the other thing we did, Rebecca booked a hike, just a nature hike. And we were walking in a dry riverbed. That was just really cool. Because, I mean, you are one with nature. It was just 3 of us. It was the guide, 2 of us.
No, there was more than that.
Was there?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the 3 of us.
No.
Okay. So, well, there weren't that many. Because I only remember the 3 of us.
It was, I think, probably about 6 other people. Maybe 5 or 6 other people.
But all I remember is just at one point, the guy goes, okay, everybody stop. And then like this moose walks out and stops. And then the little baby walks out behind her. And she just stood there while the baby crossed to make sure we weren't going to do anything. That was incredible because then you really appreciate just how big a moose really is. It's like, oh my God. They are huge. They're huge. So
like the size of a bus practically.
Yeah. But the bus ride is scary as heck because if you're sitting in the window seat when he's making the turns and you look down, there's nothing there. There's no guardrails. There's nothing there to keep you from going all the way to the bottom. And the road actually gave way. So yeah, so that's what there is to do in Denali. We've been there are some really great tours. If you're a fan of trains, there's actually a Rocky Mountaineer train thing too. Like you can go through Canada or through the Colorado on the train and end up meeting up somewhere to catch a cruise, which is really a lot of fun. There are some Princess land tours that will bring you to the ship. Like literally, the train station is on it's on the pier. So you get off the train, you walk right onto the ship. That's really cool. In fact, we had a couple of clients who specifically wanted to do that. It's like we got the land tour set up, and they're like, we only want the land tours that include the train ride to the ship because it sounds cool. And my dad did that. Actually, they flew in and they ended up being brought right to the ship on the train. So yeah, we did that cruise with my dad. We were on the Sapphire Princess for that one. That was a fabulous ship. We had an aft balcony. So when we went to, I can't remember which glacier it was, the ship basically backed up to the glacier, and the glacier was just right there, right off our balcony. So that was really, really cool. I highly recommend a balcony in Alaska if you can get it. And if you can, try to get your balcony on the land side. An Alaska cruise is very much like a river cruise, just on a much bigger boat, really, because you pretty much stay in sight of land almost the entire time. So a lot of people like to get the cabins on the side that's going to be the predominant side for the cruise, where the land is going to be, because at least you get something to look at versus just looking out at water.
And just going back to Mexico, the other thought I had is that if a cruise port has become unsafe, the cruise line will skip
not go
that
there.
port.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such as when everything happened with Russia and Ukraine, all of the Russia stops on cruises got canceled.
And there have been times that they don't go to Haiti. There have been times, like in the Dominican Republic, some areas in there, they won't go. So if there is unrest or it's unsafe to go to a port, they're not going. They're just flat out not going to go, because it doesn't make any sense. The ship, it doesn't make any sense to bring a ship into a place where it's unsafe, and so they're not going to do it.
But most of the states that are having issues are more in the center of the country and not as much on the coasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you want to look it up, you can look up exactly which states have the severe warning.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to, like most of the Caribbean, you're always going to need to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
And not go flashing a lot of cash. Don't wear your most expensive jewelry or watches.
Try not to have a big old Nikon slung around your neck with a $5,000 lens on it. That's always a bad sign too. So, you just don't try to. You're going to be obvious as a tourist. You can't help that. You're a freaking tourist. They're going to know you right off the bat. The biggest thing to watch out for really is pickpockets. And they talk about that in Italy. Italy is like world famous for pickpockets, but pickpockets are everywhere. So you really want to make sure things are protected. People laugh at cargo shorts and all that. I still have my cargo shorts with my Velcro. It keeps everything snapped shut and all that good stuff. So you just got to be aware of your surroundings. And if you're in an organized tour, you are safer than walking around alone. You really are. But if you're walking around alone, at least try to be in a small group. Try to be a couple. Try to be walking around together. So yeah, and just do research. Some ports are, like I said, San Juan, I have no problems walking around San Juan. St. Martin, beautiful to walk around. St. Thomas, beautiful to walk around. Falmouth, Jamaica, nope. I'm not leaving the port area unless I'm on an excursion, because I just don't feel safe. Now, there are people come back on the ship, oh, I walked around all day and I got beers and I did this. I'm like, okay, good. If that works for you, that's fine. For me, it doesn't, and that's all that matters. What do you feel comfortable with? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. What do you feel? And if you don't feel comfortable with whatever it is, don't do it. That's all. You're under no obligation to do anything on a cruise ship. You can just park yourself by the pool for 7 days and do nothing at all.
In fact,
and have a great time.
On our most recent cruise, I did a new experiment. I did not get off the ship at any of the stops.
Yeah,
I stayed and enjoyed the pools.
Yeah. And we didn't get to Costa Maya because the weather was too bad. We couldn't go on in. But I basically left the ship at Mahogany Beach because I had not been there yet, and I didn't realize just how nice that was. What a beautiful little spot Carnival has set up right there. So if you're going to Mahogany Beach, it's really easy to get there. You walk off the ship. Yeah, it's in Roatan. You just walk off the ship and you walk, it's about a 10-minute walk from the ship to actually get to the beach. Not the best beach in the world, a lot of rocks. But at least at the beach, it's right there. You can ride the little sky ride. They have water sports and things like that. And then they have your typical shopping area, the t-shirt, the alcohol, and all of that.
And the beach does have cabanas you can rent too, right?
It does. Yeah, it actually has really nice cabanas that you can rent. I was at the fence line looking at them. I didn't actually see them, but yeah, so that was really nice. What about Ocho Rios? We have not been there in quite some time. Now, you're asking about a safe excursion. So anything that you book through the cruise line is going to be vetted. Anything that you would book through Shore Excursions Group, which you can get through from my website, or actually if you click on my logo, you'll see a link that says, Shore Excursions. Anything that you book from those two will be vetted. If you just simply get off at the port and walk up to those guys at the dock that are trying to get you to go on a tour, I don't want to say you're taking your life in your hand, but you don't know what you're going to get. So we've been to Ocho Rios in the past. It was always nice. The actual port area was really nice, as I recall.
And actually, we've walked around a bit in Ocho Rios outside of the port area, and it was for Jamaica, I have to say not particularly scary.
Yeah, yeah. So it was actually rather nice. Certainly a lot better than Falmouth. I'd much rather go to Ocho Rios than go to Falmouth myself. But again, you just have to do some. You just got to do some research. But if you're booking something through the cruise ship, there's no cause for concern there. And if you're booking through a vetted excursions group like the Shore Excursions group, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of cause for concern there.
Although I have to say, just because I'm a particularly spastic and uncoordinated person, I've always been very, very nervous about the Dunn's River Fall excursions because
Right.
I could see myself like really getting hurt.
Yeah, she's got bad knees and she's got bad balance. So definitely, Dunn's River Falls is very slippery from what we read because there's a lot of moss on the rocks. So certainly you want to have water shoes on if you're going to do that one. But if you have any balance issues whatsoever, or you've got any kind of like bad knees or anything, I definitely would not.
I don't have great ankles either. So.
Yeah, so I would not recommend that. But I will say I would gladly take Ocho Rios over Falmouth anytime.
Absolutely.
We just haven't had a cruise that's gone to Ocho Rios in a long time.
Yeah, since they created the Falmouth stop, a lot of them have been
they're going
diverted
over there.
Although I've seen a few here and there that do go to Ocho Rios.
Yeah, but not near as many as used to. So you did the Dunn's River Falls as a kid. That's too funny. Yeah.
As a kid, I probably could have done it.
Maybe.
Now,
Maybe.
well, at least things would have healed quicker.
Yeah, would have healed quicker. She's always been a spaz since I've known her, but she has done the zip lining.
Yeah.
We've done
you just have to strap in and go on that.
And she didn't like the dune buggy, but we did it. I'm a speed junkie. You know, I want to get on things that go fast. I want to be able to drive it myself, so I really enjoy that kind of stuff. She doesn't. She likes catamaran. She likes snorkeling.
I didn't like the smell of the.
Yeah. But if you're going to St. Kitts, Mad Max, was it St. Kitts? I think it was St. Kitts. Mad Max dune buggies, and Max has 2 X's. Mad Max dune buggies. They are fun. They're really fun. I think it was St. Kitts.
I don't think it was.
Somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. Becky's saying that the Dunn's River Falls was the only thing she liked about Jamaica. Never go back there. Too scary. I will say that about Falmouth. Like I said, Ocho Rios when we went was nice. We haven't been to Ocho Rios in a while just because we haven't had many itineraries that go there.
You still have to be aware of your surroundings, but yeah, Ocho Rios is at least was much better than Falmouth.
Where was it that we went after the hurricane, like during the hurricane cruise, that was much worse than it normally is because everybody had come over? Antigua. So we were in, just to give you an example of how things changed, we were cruising on the Celebrity Equinox during Hurricane Maria.
Irma
and Maria. So we were right between the two. And so Irma decimated Barbuda, which was very close to Antigua. So
they're
everybody...
They're basically the same country. It's Antigua and Barbuda.
So everybody from Barbuda came to Antigua. Usually Antigua is just a nice, quiet, little sleepy island. But when we came, I mean, the streets were like overflowing with people because so many people needed someplace to go, and they all came over. And so you really had to. It was very aggressive when you left the cruise area. People were trying to sell you things because they needed money, they needed stuff. So even in Antigua, which is typically a very quiet, sleepy place, it was very aggressive on that particular cruise, but we knew that was different than it typically is, and we knew why. We knew that there were a lot of refugees who had to leave Barbuda because the island was flattened, which was interesting because Antigua is so close, and it was largely spared. Maybe some palm trees were knocked over, some other stuff was knocked over, but Barbuda was flattened. So yeah, you just have to be aware of your surroundings, and you got to be aware of certain situations. Like the person brought up Mexico with the warnings and everything. You just need to be aware of what's happening. One of the things I will say is if you go to Labadee with Royal Caribbean, you need to be aware that the vendors who are in the art market, they're a little bit aggressive. They really want you to buy things. They're local tradespeople.
But
they really want you to buy things.
But you can take a tram that goes right through there, so you don't have to walk through there. Yeah,
we always recommend taking the tram through the artist market because they don't try to sell things because you're driving through.
They can't.
So it's a lot better. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, well, we've been going about an hour and a half here, so I think we're going to wrap it up. It looks like I have a couple of calls coming up already, so thank you to those of you who have booked time with me already today. If you want to book time to talk with me, just click on the logo. Here is this thing again. but you can click on my logo. There will be a link to Book Time with Walter. It's my online calendar. Very easy. Just pick a time that's convenient for you, and I'll either call you or we'll do a video chat.
And just make sure you get a confirmation.
Yeah, just get a confirmation. We've had a couple people who I guess didn't click to confirm all the way through. So make sure you get if you get a confirmation, I'm calling you. If you don't get a confirmation, I didn't get the notice. So just make sure you get a confirmation so we can talk. So thank you so much to everybody for joining us here today. We'll be back next Sunday. And in fact, for those of you who are still with us, we are testing out some new beta software that is going to allow us to stream on TikTok and YouTube simultaneously. I've done it in the past, but I actually have to create 2 different streams to do that, and so I have 2 different audiences, and it feels like y'all are disjointed. This software is going to allow me to stream to TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everything at the same time. So one set of conversations going on at the same time. So that's going to be really nice to let all the audiences come together. So watch for that. I'm hoping to do it next Sunday. If not, certainly the following Sunday. So we're testing out the software this week. So I'm very excited about that. That's my old television producer geekiness coming through. I love to try new software. I love to try new cameras and everything else that comes along. So thank you so much to everybody for watching. We will be back next Sunday, same time, 10:30. Thanks for getting up early this morning. You lost an hour's sleep, so thanks for getting up early this morning. And we'll see you back here next Sunday. And of course, if you have questions at all about anything, drop them in the comments of any of the videos. Come on over to YouTube, drop them there, and come join our Facebook group as well. So thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday. Have a great weekend.